Hey guys, today I'm bringing you a recent reads video. I thought that I'm going to be doing this instead of wrap-ups now because doing wrap-ups every month, it's just kind of like if you don't read anything then you kind of feel guilty. So I'm just going to do recent reads videos so that whenever I do read, I'll basically do a video all about it when I have enough books to talk about. I'll be talking about all the books that I read while I was away from this channel. This first book was a book that I read for class, and it's The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan, and I ended up rating this 4 stars. It was a really interesting book about Asian culture, a multi-generational story. Really liked the writing and I found it a really engaging book. Second book was also for class, and it was Grief is the Thing with Feathers by Max Porter, and I only rated this 2 stars. Unfortunately, I did not like this at all. It really didn't make a lot of sense to me because it was written in verse, or just it wasn't even verse. It was like a lot of critics labeled this book as unconventional because of the writing, which I guess it was, but I just didn't understand the appeal. This third book was also for class, and it was A Kingdom Strange. I don't even remember the author, honestly. I only rated this 2 stars. This was a book about the lost colony of Roanoke, but I really didn't understand it because, like, we were assigned this book for English class, but it's like literally a history book. Like, I literally just sent it back to Amazon and got my refund because I'm like, This next book I also read for class, and it is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and I rated this 3 stars. Unfortunately, I was kind of disappointed by this, but it wasn't completely horrible. I think I talked a little bit about this in my unhaul video, that I'm unhauling this. I just don't really want to keep it anymore, and that's all I'm going to say about this. This next book is the last book that I read for class, and it is Some by David Eagleman, and I rated this one 4 stars. It's basically a book about all these scenarios of what the afterlife might be like. So it kind of read like little poems or little short stories. It was pretty cool. It really makes you think, and it's very challenging to traditional ideas of religion, especially Christianity. The next book I read was My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga, and I rated this 3 stars. I DNF'd this last year, I think, but I finally got around to finishing it. I feel like the idea was good, and I enjoyed reading it. I don't know what it was about it, but something was just off for the entire book that made me not enjoy it, and I was unsatisfied with the ending, to be honest. I feel like it kind of contradicted the message of the book that it was portraying earlier on, and there was kind of an insta-love, so that was annoying. The next book I read was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and I rated this 4 stars. I really think that the characters of this book were really rich, and the writing was definitely good. This book was basically one of the first like haunted house books. It's considered a classic, I think, but it's about a doctor who sends this message out to have people stay at this place called Hill House that's supposedly haunted because he wants to conduct an experiment to see what happens in the house. My only complaint about this book is I feel like there was a lot of hubbub in like the description, and like that Hill House is like supposedly so haunted. I feel like a little bit more could have happened, but I still really enjoyed the book, and it was definitely creepy in a sort of not obvious way. The next book I read was The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire by Dan and Phil from YouTube, if you don't know them. Okay, I rated this 3 stars because it was a pretty fun read. It wasn't like anything too serious, and I flew through it pretty fast. The next book I read was Shallow Graves by Kelly Wallace, and I ended up getting this from the library, and I rated this 3 stars. I was actually slightly disappointed by this book Basically, this book is about a girl named Breezy who dies, and then one day she crawls out of the ground from where she was buried. Doesn't know why she's alive again. And it sounded like a really creepy paranormal book, but it actually took a weird, like, science fiction fantasy turn like halfway through, and I didn't really like that. I feel like there was too much of a story for this to be one book. Like, I feel like this should be a series, but even if it was a series, I probably wouldn't read it, because this book, to be honest, wasn't even that interesting. It was just weird. And the final book that I'm going to talk about today is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book can go to hell. I DNF'd this like 2 years. Finally decided to pick it up, and the only reason why I picked it up again was so that I could finish it and write a hate review, which sounds really vengeful, but I really wanted to gather all my thoughts about this book before I bashed it. First of all, this book is boring. It's so boring, like literally. Also, okay, first of all, I need to say the premise. Wow, this video is all over the place. This book is about a girl named Violet Markey who lost her sister in a car crash, and a boy named Theodore Finch who has a bad home life and is generally depressed, and they meet one day on a bell tower, and I'm pretty sure because Finch was contemplating suicide or something, and they end up becoming friends and then later lovers over a school project. There were a lot of like harmful messages about depression and suicide generally. Like, there was a very overpowering message that being in a relationship can save you, or that a person can save you from your depression. Honey, no, that is incorrect. Also, I'm not even gonna talk about how similar this was to The Fault in Our Stars. There were so many similarities on Goodreads. I literally like made a checklist of all the similarities to The Fault in Our Stars. It was ridiculous. Those are all the books that I'm going to be talking about today. In the future, I'm probably going to only talk about 5 or so books in these recent reads videos, just because I don't want them to be as long as this one. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.